So they don't fall apart like
Yeah,
this.
and that's the same thing as like early bike headsets also had like loose bearings versus the newer ones have sealed. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, this one apparently was not sealed, and I have not encountered one that wasn't. So
you didn't expect that.
Didn't expect that. And of course, this one's not a 5-blade aperture like a lot of new ones. It's actually like a 16 or something. So that's
so cleaned and in good shape. What could this sell for?
150 to 200.
150 to 200 in pieces like this. What could this sell for?
Well, in pieces, I'd put it back together. Pretty
I
much
know, but just like this, could you sell it?
I wouldn't sell it like that.
The Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. Good morning, good Monday morning, fellow pickers and would-be adventurers. This is Dealer with the Crazy Picker Life exercise crew. We're getting our exercise and run in this morning. How about you? Well, I got my short run in. I'm gonna really try to get in shape. Today's the day. I started again today. I'm going for a body that can handle 4 miles a day, 5-6 days a week. That's what I really want to do. I want to be back where these guys are. Way to go, Banana Peeler. Way to go, Squealer. Show me that again. What are we up to out here? Okay, show me how you almost caught one.
I was right next to it. It flew. I flew this, then it flew away.
You pounced on him. Comes the other buddy. Oh, there he is. He's up here, guys.
Yep, that was mine.
He's right in front of you. Right in front of you. We're in the hunt here. Here's the two hunters. Oh, you see him? Get him, Lizzie. The hunt is on.
I almost got it.
Well, don't hurt him. Just catch him. This is how the young guys, Elizabeth and Sam, get their running in. They don't fight it all up. Oh! Oh my goodness. Oh, he got out of there.
I had enough.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You had enough?
Yeah.
Look up here.
Yeah, I had enough.
Maybe another day. He's taunting you, isn't he? He knows you can't go over there.
I see another one. Come on.
Oh, I'm tired out. I can't do it. Oh, we caught him. We weren't supposed to catch him. Oh dear. He's all ruffled up. Let him go. That's part of the fun. Let him go.
Wait, no, take what's here. Yeah, I can't see it.
Let him go. He's having trouble. Oh, there he goes.
Yep.
Say goodbye. Well, finally made it in the office this morning. I edited my video at home last night after midnight, and it's 11:30 a.m. and we've got the wonderful surprise of no internet.
Yeah, no internet.
So everybody's frisky about that, but when it comes right down to it, Dealer gets frisky here too because I've got orders to pack. Look how frisky. So we're going to do a little bit of quick troubleshooting, and then we might have to head home and see if we've got internet at home. I've got to print some labels and get some orders going. Okay, a quick reset of the internet. For some reason it got locked up. We moved some equipment around on Saturday to do that program, and I think we might have dislodged something on the router or something. Maybe when I put it back, put my cord, I don't know what it is, the cable to hard connect my computer in the back there. When I put it back, I might have messed something up. Okay, so typically I get in the office earlier on Mondays. I need kind of a break this week, so I knew my auctions, many of them were ending Sunday morning early. And typically I run for the camera business. I run 10-day auctions, fixed price auctions. And I will relist those, and then most of the things $20 or more. Part of the reason we run 10-day fixed auctions is anything $20 or more I'll relist after 10 days 5% discount. And so anything that's $20 or more every 10 days, boom, 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 5% price cut. eBay, I think, sends out emails periodically to the watchers of that product, and so every 10 days if they're on the fence they get hit, price cut, price cut, price cut. I also think when you discount items like that, I think it might be in the algorithm to give you a little bump in search results. Another reason I do 10-day fixed price auctions is I think you get a bump in sales every time you're 500,000, 1,500, 2,000. I relisted about 2,000 items. When those hit as newly listed items, I think we get a bump in sales. When it comes down to the last day and those 1,500, 2,000 items are ending, I think we get a bump in sales. And so depending on how people sort their items, when they're buying things, they'll show up as newly listed. They'll show up as, about to go away or about to end. The other thing we do, and I'm going to get that started here in just a minute, is we run in a 10-day cycle. I will probably run 3 separate sales. And the smallest sale that you can run is 11% off. Our camera items are usually, probably 80% of the time, 11% off. And again, when a sale comes on, I think we get a bump, and when a sale goes off, we definitely get people that are on the fence to make a decision and buy. So this does not apply to my other main ID, my Northwest Kansas ID, where I have all my signs and all my other stuff that's not camera stuff. I do 30-day listings there, and I have my reasons. Maybe I'll talk about that sometime. But if you're going to develop a strategy, it has to work for you. This is a strategy that I've developed over the years, and it's constantly evolving. Now, I don't make lots of changes, but I always am keeping track in my mind of what's going on. I always have ideas that pop in. eBay does change some things from time to time. I'm always looking to get a bump in sales and search results. We got to keep things moving. And originally, 2 things drove me to want to keep my things selling. In other words, running sales and discounting items every 10 days. The 2 things that drove me to that conclusion and drove me to experiment with that were, 1, I needed to have cash flow in order to run this business. In other words, stuff just can't sit around. You got to turn stuff over, even some of it at a loss or at low margin. Now, our average margin is probably 5 times what we buy stuff for. If you take it across the board, we find some, big crazy deals from time to time that drive that way up. And then we have our bread and butter items. So I needed to turn those over, or I didn't have cash to go buy stuff the next day. So I felt I had to do some of that. The other thing is our inventory kept expanding. First we had 500 items, and then we got up to 1,000 items. And I started to say to myself, hey, we're headed into this big inventory abyss, And in the camera business and in other businesses, we are looking for the right person. So there's a certain size of inventory that we're going to have. It'll probably always grow unless we go 100% full-time, take the entire family on the road. Then we'll have to trim the inventory. But when it started to get towards 1,500, and now we've got like 2,000 camera items and 500 other items, I've got to keep that at a certain point, and my strategy keeps things moving. We're currently in a slower time of the year. It'll pick up for us a little bit towards the end of the year and the holiday buying. After the first of the year till about May is our busy camera time. Now my miscellaneous business is always steady and will pick up for sure here at the end of the year during holidays. Again, my strategy will not work for you necessarily, so play around with your strategy, but don't hold me that this is the only way. All right, so I did not have most of my auctions running yesterday, so I did not come in and relist those auctions until I did it at like 12:30, just after midnight this Monday morning. I don't typically work at all on Sundays. I try to stay out of the office and not do any work. Sunday is a fun day and a rest day and a family day and a spiritual day for us, so we just do not work on Sundays. With that said, there's some things that I have to do from time to time, and I have to make a choice on each one of those. So I chose not to relist my auctions until 12:30 this morning, and I just counted these, but my brain isn't working. I think I have 11 or 12 or 13 orders waiting for me, including a $200 one and a $400 one and a few $100 ones. So there's good orders here, and some of these were off sale, so that's even better. I'm going to crank up the sale this morning. We should get pretty good orders all day long. We'll take what we get, and I'm just going to start packing here and get these off to the post office. That's the next thing. So I don't know if you like my talk about that kind of stuff, about the inner workings of how I list and run things like that. From time to time I will rant. And time to time we'll have action. I do like this new camera. I took it off my tripod, and I got to remember to put the wrist strap on so I don't drop it. I'm in the mode not to drop my iPhone 6S when I'm filming with that. And I only dropped it once in the first 2 weeks that I owned it. But this camera is even a little more expensive than that, and certainly can't take a dinger. So I'm gonna have to put this wrist strap on my arm and get used to that. Okay, on with the packing. All right, getting ready to take my orders in to USPS. I think I've got 5 down there, and 4, 5, 6. One under there, 7, 8. What is that? 13, 14, 15, 16, and then I've got one big UPS back there for 17 going out today. I've got 4 in the hopper that I didn't get to, so decent day. Okay, well, let's go visit with Wheeler here a little bit. He's got some things to show us. I just got back in the office. I went out on my anniversary dinner with Lon. We just went out for a regular dinner here locally. Nice time, just got to get away from kids and stress for an hour and a half, and had some fun. Happy anniversary, 18 years in the books, many more ahead. So we also went east of town and checked out a house out in the country, the other direction from yesterday, and turned out to not be very desirable. So no criteria set, no houses picked, Just freewheeling. Let's go talk to Wheeler. Okay, so we're in the office here with Wheeler, and he's working on some cameras. He had one camera challenge earlier today that he was interested in showing, and then he's been working on another real cool camera that he can talk about. I'm just going to sit here and drink this Shock Top Belgium White, which is Belgium styled wheat ale brewed with citrus peels and coriander. I just had a drag from it. It tastes kind of like slapping an orange in your mouth.
It's good. It's great.
Hi, Wheeler.
Hi. What's up?
All right, so
Even Wheeler messes up camera stuff sometimes.
yeah.
Here's an example of that. You
Well,
see these are like 16 little metal.
a lot of people are interested in what you're doing with cameras, and obviously when people ask and they say, well, show me how to test a camera, that's kind of a funny question for you or I, because there's probably cameras that people think are cameras.
Yep.
And then there's 30,000 different other ones that don't fit into that category. So
Yeah, well, I announced on my channel earlier today, I kind of made a reintroduction video, and I said that I'm going to be making a series of camera testing videos, and the reason it's going to be a series is probably going to end up being 8 different types of cameras for testing, just because that's how many there are. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Being
well, if you're if you're gonna just hang in the mainstream, there's money to be made, but some of the money is with the oddball stuff, and that's where the problem would come when somebody would say, teach me how to test a camera. If we're looking, and we don't need to get into it right this minute, but if we're looking at this Rapid Omega 200, that would not fit in the general category of, hey, Wheeler, show me how to test cameras, right?
If I tested a normal SLR camera, it would have about 20%. It would test about 20% of that camera. That camera has a lot more
Not a lot
to it.
Not a lot of crossover.
No, that too, but there is some crossover.
Okay, so what did you do to this lens? Tell us, first of all, a little bit about the background of this lens.
Yeah.
And then why you did this and what the problem is.
It's a Steinheil München, sure I'm not pronouncing that right, CAS-R 105mm and larger lens with a barrel that allows it to be used on Exacta cameras, making it a bit of a rare lens. The aperture size
What
is
era?
Probably early 50s, early 1950s, late 1940s, somewhere in there.
Okay, so it's 50 or more years old. Now
Yep.
somebody would have used this
Early on in the lens production.
would have used
kind of
this
thing.
as a projector lens, and then they converted it to a camera
A
lens.
larger lens, and then this was a factory sold converter
Okay,
allowed to
so
be used.
it is kind of a rarity.
Yep.
German made.
Well, they made 2 different apertures. This is the faster version, and the slower one with the tube even is pretty.
So somebody
reasonably
that
common.
would have used this would have been highly into cameras and would have been into sort of experimental.
I don't know about that. If they had a larger lens and they wanted to use it on their camera, they could buy this adapter. I don't know exactly
Okay.
what the use was. It was kind of a goofy lens.
All
It
right,
was just
so
weird.
what was wrong with it?
Well, I was going to clean the internals. There's a bit of like dust and a little bit of freezer residue in there, like water trapped in there, which that didn't happen on most of them, but this one it did. So I
So
was
this
going
one
to-
is not weather sealed.
well, yeah, not as much so as some other ones for sure.
Okay, so you took it apart.
Yep, took it apart to clean it as I would with a lot of different lenses. It was actually pretty easy to get apart. I unscrewed this first back element and I was like, okay, well I can't get to this other group in here and it looks like it unscrews from the back. So I decided to try, oh yeah, let's unscrew this other ring here.
Yeah. So are you telling me that a lens doesn't just have a barrel and a couple of pieces of glass? All this other garbage is in here?
That's the aperture, which I guess if I get a example lens here, I have some that
Yeah,
have
it
a
all
little
it all
aperture thing.
kind
It's
of
just this
fits.
little piece.
It all fits
This
together.
little piece that moves in there.
It's like one of those crazy closing doors that you don't ever want to try to walk through.
Yeah, 99% of the lenses, or let's say 85% if you count like really old ones, are sealed. The aperture unit is all one piece, and it's not. It kind of you can even take it out and move it around, and it's been fused together.
So they don't fall apart like
Yeah,
this.
and that's the same thing as like early bike headsets also had like loose bearings versus the newer ones have sealed. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, this one apparently was not sealed, and I have not encountered one that wasn't. So I
So you didn't expect that.
didn't expect that. And of course, this one's not a 5-blade aperture like a lot of new ones. It's actually like a 16 or something. So that's
So cleaned and in good shape, what could this sell for?
150 to 200.
150 to 200. In pieces like this, what could this sell for?
Well, in pieces, I'd put it back together pretty
I
much.
know,
put
but
this
just like
away.
this, could you sell it?
I wouldn't sell it like that.
Could
No.
you?
You could.
For what, 20 bucks?
I don't know. If I did 2 seconds of sticking it back together, I could sell it for 100 to 120.
Okay. So are we going to be able to get top dollar, or is this going to be a junker?
No, I'm going to stick it back together. I'm going to figure out how to...
The pressure's on, isn't it?
I figured it out. I had figured
Okay.
out earlier today. Dealer just stopped me, and I spent like an hour and a half trying to figure out...
That's what I, yeah,
That's
this
the
is
problem.
this is an hour and a half.
Yep. So now I took it all back apart again.
I know,
couldn't
because
get it in there.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And
I
I'm
figured out
not
how to do it.
I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying that this can't be taught. This is camera guy getting in over his head, and now he's
learning how to fix it.
Learning how to fix it.
Yep.
But the jury's still out. Okay, we got to move on. Coney Omega.
200. We picked this up in Wisconsin, actually at a camera store. Paid a premium for it, but it's kind of a neat camera.
Well, I don't remember what we paid.
140 at the camera store.
140. Okay.
It's pretty heavy. And anyway, this one has a few odd features. First of all, these are tanks. They were literally withstand anything. Of course, this one has 3 hot shoes. And it's a really weird camera.
What does that thing weigh? Probably 8 pounds as it sits.
5.
Okay,
5 pounds.
5 pounds, which
Somewhere
is
around
heavy
that.
for a camera.
It's pretty heavy for a camera.
Because they try to make cameras where you can tote them all day. This one is definitely not like that.
Yep. And also this little flap here tries to keep popping up. I sort of got it fixed, but it's not perfect. And anyway, it has a dark slide here, which actually works as a key to unlock different features of the camera, which is really weird.
So they're using the dark slide, which is part of the photographic end of it.
Yep.
They're
It's a light
using
blocking.
it as a unlock mechanism key for other parts of the camera.
Yeah, there's a strange slot in the side of the lens barrel, which you've had some of these cameras before, but you've never had the dark slides with them, so you actually can't use it. And it's a bit of a firm fit here, so I have to make sure I get it just right there. And that goes in there, and then you can unlock the lens.
So you cannot take the lens off unless you put a dark slide in there.
Nope. And then you also have this lock here, and that does even further things. It allows technicians to get in there and clean and lubricate the camera.
And so you just figured this out today, even though
Yep.
we've owned one of these.
Well, I didn't have the dark slide before.
Right.
Yep.
So that's kind of exciting.
And also the hand grip's super adjustable, and it can be switched to both sides. There's this really funky winding mechanism. It's just German over-engineering.
Well, Germans are known for their over-engineering.
Or
So
in this
when
case, actually, it's Japan. I forget.
so when did this camera come out?
The original Coney Omega, I think, came out in the early 60s. This one probably came out in the mid-70s. I think this was the later model, released only in Japan.
You look
Or-
like you're wrestling with it.
Yep, I'm going to line it up here so I don't damage anything.
Okay, so what are these in the 70s? What do you think those retailed for?
No idea, but definitely a bit more than standard camera, which is probably 800. So it's probably in the 2,000 to 4,000 range.
So this
equivalent.
was not
I have no clue.
a
So.
standard camera. This
No,
was
definitely not.
This was pretty high end for the 70s.
Yep.
How many of these are out there? Not that many.
For the first model, if I had to estimate, I'd say probably 50,000 or something like that. And then this one, there's probably only 10 to 15,000.
So they lost a little steam going into the
Yeah,
70s.
the second one just wasn't really, didn't go over this quite as well. It just wasn't.
Okay, so hip shot. This one is in reasonably nice condition, from what
Yeah.
I can tell. What are we gonna list this thing
Let's
as?
have 350.
Okay, so
Probably
it
not going to end up going for quite that much, but
should be a doubler.
yeah, should be.
But the experience in playing around with it will translate to a lot of experience down the road. You've had how many dollars worth of fun?
Pay $20 to play around with one.
$20 worth of fun on top of
I don't
that.
know how you correlate that to money, but yeah, I guess.
Well, I'm trying to ask all the difficult questions.
Yeah, I'm willing to answer them.
All right, so this is fun with cameras
Yep.
and Wheeler.
Exactly.
All right, anything else?
Nope. That's about it. I gotta get this lens back together.
Catch you next time.
Yep.
Alrighty. I'm going to finish off my I don't know if I like this or not, this shock top thing. It's like kind of like a beer that seems like it's having a hard time deciding if it's a orange juice or a beer. So I don't know if I like that kind of thing or not. Some people like that, and you know, more power to them. Okay, I'm going to print some invoices and pack some orders. I've got a bunch of them here. It looks like, as predicted, a bunch of people grabbed onto the new listings and the new sale. I don't know how many I have here, probably 10. And we're at about 8 o'clock at night. Had a good time out with Lon, and in a good mood about that, I guess. Going to list a few items, tidy up a bit, and before you know it, it'll be tomorrow again. So thanks for watching. Like the thumbs up, like the comments, subscribe. We'll keep the daily vlogs going. Let us know what you like and don't like in the comments, and we'll keep on keeping on here. Have a good evening.
Hey, Wheeler.
Dealer Production.